Welcome to another explainer. Today we're diving into a fascinating source that honestly, it kind of challenged everything I thought I knew about building wealth. We're looking at a breakdown of 20 different businesses that literally make you money while you sleep. And the core premise here? It's that true wealth usually isn't built on some brilliant, world-changing tech idea. Nope, it's actually built on completely unglamorous, downright boring businesses that just run on autopilot. And to make this super actionable for you, we're going to categorize these wealth-building engines entirely by their startup costs. To really anchor this, the source shares the tale of two very different entrepreneurs. Let's call them Daniel and Alex. So Daniel spent his 30s totally exhausting himself, right? Chasing that whole Silicon Valley garage myth. He burned through his savings trying to build the next viral app, competing against literally thousands of people doing the exact same thing, zero success. But then you have Alex. Alex didn't invent a thing. He just bought a 15-year-old, super boring laundromat with a proven cash flow. He used the profits from that to buy some vending machines, and bam, within 4 years, total financial freedom. The difference wasn't how smart they were or how hard they worked. It was entirely about the playing field they chose.
All right, let's dive right into our roadmap. We've reorganized these 20 boring businesses by startup cost. We'll start with the boring wealth secret. Look at low, medium, and high-cost models. Check out the hack of buying cash flow. And finally, wrap up with the recurring revenue rule.
Section 1. The boring wealth secret. The truth is, ugly equals less competition. Whether we're talking about cleaning windows or literally hauling portable restrooms, the physical discomfort of a business is basically a moat. It's a barrier to entry that actively protects your profits.
Moving on to Section 2. Low cost, high recurrence. Here, we're focusing on businesses that give you predictable returns with very, very little capital upfront. Just think about how little it takes to get some of these off the ground. With literally nothing but the laptop you probably already have, you can start a bookkeeping business for $0. Or drop maybe $1,500 to $4,000 on a solid pressure washer, and boom, you're in business. But the real secret sauce here, the recurring engine. The smartest operators out there don't charge for one-off gigs. Instead, they lock down annual contracts with commercial buildings or set up monthly retainer fees. So you're shifting from the daily grind of constantly chasing that next gig to just enjoying guaranteed recurring income.
And the sheer scale of these unglamorous markets is absolutely wild. The global cleaning services market was valued at nearly $416 billion in 2024. And get this, it's projected to hit an astounding $620 billion by 2030. The source actually reveals that a solo cleaning operator with just five recurring clients can pull in between $5 and $8 grand a month. Why? Because they hold on to their clients. It is so much easier to keep a client happy week after week than it is to convince a brand new one to hire you every single day.
Let's actually break down the math on one of those lowest cost models, bookkeeping. Look, almost every small business owner absolutely hates doing paperwork. It's a fact. If you can find just 10 clients who are willing to pay you $1,000 a month to do the paperwork they deeply despise, well, you just hit $10,000 a month in pure, low-cost recurring revenue. You aren't selling them some complex financial audit. You're literally selling them peace of mind.
All right, Section 3. Medium-cost asset rentals. This is where physical assets start doing the heavy lifting for you.
These medium-cost models all operate on the exact same brilliant logic. Basically, you absorb the cost of owning something expensive, or let's be real, kind of unappealing, just once. Think a portable restroom unit, a vending machine, or maybe some specialized heavy scaffolding. Then you just rent it out dozens, maybe even hundreds of times over its lifespan to capture all that ongoing cash flow. Once the asset is paid off, a single portable restroom route or an equipment rental can easily generate thousands of dollars a month in pure profit.
So picture a range of $1,000 to $3,000. That represents the monthly net profit of just a single, well-placed ATM. And the source points out this amazing synergy here. ATMs actually pair perfectly with vending machines. If you can secure location for one, you can almost always place the other right next to it. So every single location you service instantly becomes two completely distinct recurring income streams, taking up basically the exact same physical footprint.
And that brings us to a really profound insight from the source material about vending machines. The real secret of the vending business isn't about selling sodas or chips. It's actually real estate. Think about it. You are taking an empty hallway that's currently worth $0 a month and turning it into rent-paying infrastructure. You're securing 24/7 permission to monetize a totally useless, empty space.
Moving to Section 4. High-cost,
Proven models. These require more upfront capital, but they offer massive predictability. Now for the heavy hitters. Take a service franchise. You might drop around $275,000 up front, but the average annual revenue, a massive $1.67 million. Why? Because you are buying a proven turnkey system. Then there's parking lots. An operator managing just 5 commercial parking lots can passively bring in $600,000 a year. And of course, the classic laundromat. It takes high capital for all those machines, sure, but it generates incredibly steady revenue through coins and upsells.
If you're sitting there thinking laundromats sound a little too old school, listen to this shocking stat. Approximately 95% of laundromats are still operating after 5 years. Seriously, compare that survival rate to trendy high-risk new restaurants. Serious investors heavily prefer machines washing clothes over the so-called glamour of the restaurant industry. Because at the end of the day, clean clothes are a necessity that literally never goes out of style.
And speaking of proven models, consider the massive footprint of franchises. They actually represent over 10% of all U.S. businesses and contribute 3% to the entire country's GDP. When you buy a franchise, you aren't just buying a fancy logo. You're buying the instruction manual. Somebody else has already made all the costly mistakes and fine-tuned the entire process, which drastically reduces your risk.
This crucial point is captured perfectly when we look back at the parking lot model. Parking lots do not compete on innovation. They don't compete on flashy marketing. They compete on one thing: location. You're making money from a piece of empty land. As the source perfectly puts it, whoever got to the right corner first keeps the advantage forever. It is the ultimate boring, brilliant asset.
Section 5. Buying existing cash flow. This is the ultimate hack.
There's a quote from Walker Dybel in our source that completely shifted my perspective. He says, "Buying an existing business with proven cash flow is typically a faster, less risky path to financial freedom than starting from zero." The massive, game-changing takeaway here is that you don't actually need to start any of these boring businesses from scratch. You can just buy them. When you compare the two approaches, it's night and day. Starting from scratch means high risk, zero customers, and endless guessing if your idea will even work. Buying an existing business, much lower risk, a built-in customer base, and you get cash flow on day one. This is exactly why recurring revenue businesses sell for 3 to 5 times their annual income. You aren't betting that the money might start flowing, you're buying money that is already flowing. Which brings us to Section 6, the recurring revenue rule, the ultimate takeaway.
This is the ultimate filter you absolutely must apply to any business idea. Ask yourself, does it pay you once or does it pay you every single month? Think about it. If you sell a single popsicle, you earn once. But if you rent the popsicle car to someone else, you earn every single month without ever selling another popsicle yourself. That simple structure is the invisible thread linking ATMs, laundromats, and bookkeeping. And this builds beautifully into our final philosophy, perfectly stated by Morgan Housel. People underestimate the power of simple things that repeat consistently because they chase excitement instead of consistency. Remember Daniel and Alex from the beginning? Daniel chased excitement and completely burned out. Alex chose the boring, repetitive consistency of a laundromat and got rich. Real wealth just comes down to executing boring tasks better than everyone else.
So, let's summarize the actionable blueprint based on the different startup cost tiers we've covered today. Step 1. Pick an unglamorous, uncomfortable niche so you can avoid competition. Step 2. Rigorously filter that idea for recurring monthly cash flow. And Step 3. Either buy an existing business that already has proven revenue or start from scratch using a low-capital model, like commercial cleaning or bookkeeping.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. It is time to stop chasing those flashy, viral ideas that literally everyone else is fighting over. Start looking at the hidden wealth in your everyday surroundings. The dirty sidewalks, the empty gym hallways, the neighborhood laundromats. Which boring business will you build or buy to fund your financial freedom? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep looking out for those unglamorous opportunities hiding right in plain sight.